Vikki Petersen here. Being gluten sensitive, we talk about what we can't eat a lot. So avoiding this and avoiding that, and where's the hidden gluten here and there. But what about what we should eat? And this is definitely a video that would be good for everyone, I believe. But especially those gluten sensitive and celiac, because malabsorption has been a problem for so long, and that's really put your body at risk for various diseases. So there's a little checklist. I came up with 6 of them, and they all begin with the letter F, just to make it easy, and I want to go through them with you. So the first one is flesh, and what we're looking at here is consuming enough water. This is something I find patients do rather poorly at. It's amazing to find out that someone consumes 1 or 2 glasses of water a day maximum. The recent research on this was that the body requires 8 glasses just to perform bodily functions, just to get rid of toxins, and this is just an average person. Someone who is exercising a tremendous amount, so not just an elite athlete, but someone who's extremely active and thereby sweating a lot, require an extra 50% of that, so up to 12 glasses a day. And then the average person that's hopefully exercising a moderate amount would require an extra 1 to 2. So you're looking at up to 10 glasses for that sort of individual. But flushing out toxins is a very important thing. So we're talking about purified water, clean water, and drinking quite a bit of it. Now, this is something that you will gradually build up to. If you're drinking 1 to 2 glasses, don't expect to be at 10 in 24 hours. So you'll just ramp it up and just try to work on increasing it each day. And it's amazing how when you get hydrated, you miss it when you're not, and your body actually craves it, which is a very good sign. So our second F is for fresh. So we're looking at fresh food, organic, unprocessed. It's real food. And everything you eat should be in this category. And I realize there's a lot of options out there that don't fall within this category, but to achieve good health, that's a very good byword to kind of keep in mind. The next F is free. And what we're talking about here is free of hormones, free of antibiotics, free of pesticides, free of heavy metals. So this is endeavoring to get very clean food that's free of those things that I mentioned. So an animal that has been grass-fed, that you know is antibiotic free, and these are things that your grocery store can tell you. They've either been farm raised as far as fish is concerned, although there are some farm raised is something we used to think was bad because the farm raised fish were being fed not very high quality food. So farm raised, if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, I would have said, no, stay away from farm raised. However, the reason I'm now recommending it is, in addition to wild, is that there are some very good farm raised fish where they're being fed krill, which is wonderful. It's very high in omega-3 fatty acids. So these are fish that are on a very nice farm, and they're being fed very, very high quality food, and so therefore they are rich in the omega-3 fatty acids that we're hoping for, plus they're free of the heavy metal toxicity because they are on the farm. So our next F is fiber, and that definitely comes from getting a lot of fresh food. So if that fresh that we talked about earlier happens, the fiber tends to come along with it. But some of us need more than others. So you really want to keep the bowel movements regular and easy. You should have 1 to 2 a day for the average person. Things like, they also help stabilize your blood sugar if you have enough fiber and regular bowel movements. And flax seeds are good for this, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. Sometimes you need, perhaps in addition, a little bit of a fiber powder. When you're looking at fiber powders to add to your food or add to a smoothie in the morning, make sure that it's mostly soluble fiber. That's much less harsh on your intestine than the insoluble fiber. So the fiber is very, very important. And if you're eating all those fresh fruits and vegetables, you'll be getting a lot of that. If you need a little extra, flax seeds are very good, and you can get a protein powder, as I mentioned. Our 5th F is fat, and the fat is very, very important to keep hormone stability, keep energy stable. The omega-3 fatty acids, which I mentioned earlier when I was talking about fish, come from good sources of fat like the cold water fish we mentioned. Eggs are being enriched in omega-3 fatty acids. The flax seeds that we mentioned have them as well, and they're very, very important to get. Omega-3 fatty acids tend to reduce bad cholesterol, they increase good cholesterol, they encourage weight loss, they help keep the blood sugar stable, they're anti-inflammatory, which is very, very important. Inflammation, we know, is the beginning of heart disease and cancer and diabetes. They tend to keep the hormones nice and stable. They prevent clots from forming. They do so many wonderful things. They help with osteoporosis, symptoms of depression, ADD. So omega-3 fatty acids are very important, and we Americans do not get enough of them. As far as oils to cook with, coconut oil is wonderful, olive oil is wonderful. So these are the things that I'd like you to focus on in the fat department. And remember, unless you really take it overboard, fat does not make you fat. So please don't get hung up on all the low-fat, no-fat foods and be afraid to eat any good fat, because it's very, very important for you. And our last one actually comes full circle to our first one. Remember, our first F was flush, and that was being hydrated. Our second flush, our last F, comes from the flush that you get, that nice glow on your cheeks when you've had adequate exercise. So it's very, very important to flush your system by sweating, getting your heart rate up. When you exercise, you don't have to exercise hours a day. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week tends to be adequate, but you definitely want to make sure there's a balance. You want stretching, strengthening, aerobics. You want to combine all of those and get a good balance. And you'll definitely feel better if you're getting exercise. Your metabolic rate will rise. So this is my little checklist of 6 items. They all begin with the letter F to hopefully make it a little bit easier to remember. I have 3 children. They're all in their teens. Actually, my son's now 20. And I tell them every day, have that little checklist. Did I get enough water? Did I have my 4 servings of fruits and vegetables? I try to get them midday to do that little check in their head and see if they've done it. My son is an elite athlete, so the exercise is definitely not a problem for him, but my 2 daughters, not so much, so we're working on that. And I think this is a good little checklist that you can use for a while and see if you don't feel better. I hope this helps. Until next time, to your very good health.